This is Bryan of By George here with your last George Mason basketball giant killer post-game recap video. And I'm sad. I'm sad saying it. The season is over. We lost to St. Bonaventure today. It never really felt too close. I think we cut it to 7 at one point and could just never really get the stranglehold of the game. Why? Because they forced us into a bunch of threes, and we didn't shoot that well from three today. One thing I can say is that the giant killer team is all here. We're here till Sunday, so just because the game is over doesn't mean that our coverage stops. So I want David, do a quick pan of Barclays. I mean, it's a beautiful facility. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, the Brooklyn Nets play. We're doing this during the Davidson versus St. Joe's game. To touch on Mason a little bit, we beat GW. It was close. It was probably way closer than it should have been. It's always hard to sweep a team 3 times in one season, but we did it. It's always fun to beat GW. For a long while there, we couldn't beat them, and now, we have their number. But ran into the Bonnies, who have 3 freshmen. Welch, 6 for 12 from 3, the only shots he took, and Paulsen described them as backbreakers. I did ask Paulsen about expectations, because a lot of us are critical of the expectations that he set, and then us as fans set. So this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, expectations were high. I think that's a good thing. That's better than expectations being low. I think initially those expectations put our guys on their heels because none of them had been used to those expectations. And that's unfortunate, but possibly that's part of the learning progression. Possibly that's part of the progression of a program. To our guys' great credit, when we came back from Florida, from the whatever the name of the tournament was we were in, they really bought into really forgetting expectations and turning off the outside world, if you will, and just embracing the process of getting better. And from that point on, really attack practice and stopped worrying about their own productivity. And I think when they were worried about their productivity earlier on, it wasn't out of selfishness, it was just out of, I have to fulfill these expectations. So I'm hopeful that process of going through that process will put us in better stead. At the end of the day, I think that was a big factor. I think certainly injuries and the impact it had on our depth and our positional size at the wing positions, certainly had an impact. At the end of the day, we won more conference games than we've ever won, and you saw this team tonight, and it wasn't always pretty, but every single possession, every single second, that team fought, and I think that's a real tribute to our guys.
Final question.
One thing I took away from that was he said, it's better to have, high expectations and low expectations. And that says something about the program. And I don't know if we had those expectations just because he set them or because we finished 5th in the A-10 and we've, made it to Friday and 2 tournaments after losing on Wednesday a couple times. So, I take something away from that. We did deal with injuries. We did deal with some issues during the season. Didn't have the out-of-conference finish that we wanted to. But Petey asked more specifically about the St. Bonaventure's game. Did they take us out of our game plan? And this is what Paulsen had to say.
Yeah, they did. And part of that is how they play. I mean, they really do. Statistically, teams shoot a lot of threes against them because they really pressure, they really rotate, they really help in the paint. So to some degree, you're going to have to shoot some threes and make them to beat them. They're going to make it very hard for you to score because of their help on dribble penetration and because they have an elite shot blocker, and then other guys are pretty good as well. But it did rattle us, like we talked about that at the half, that we got to touch the paint. I thought Justin did a good job of really attacking the paint in the second half. Not only to score, but find some guys. We left some bunnies on the table, off penetration and passes inside that we got to finish those. Part of it part of it was it took us out of our game plan a little bit. Part of it is, against them, you're going to have to, drive and kick. You're going to have to knock down some of those threes, and that has not been, that's been a weak spot for us, throughout the season.
So, DP always candid, always honest with us at least, and so we always want to thank him for that. Wow, it's getting live in here. I wish the Mason fans brought it like that, but so what? The last thing I want to say is, the fan base. We keep we keep growing, we keep getting stronger, we keep getting bigger, but we need more of you. We need our students to show up. It's in Brooklyn. We're in Brooklyn. We're in the city. We're in the Big Apple, where there's so much to do. We need you guys here next year. Straight up, hop on a bus, get your ass here, and root for the team. It makes a big difference. The Bonaventure fans were here. They were going ham, and it's probably like the same drive. Yeah, it's in New York State, but it's probably a 5-hour drive for them, and they were here going hard. So I'm not trying to call out the fans. To the fans that did show up, we appreciate you. We had fun at the pregame with y'all, and we know that you guys ride. And so I just want to close this out by thanking you all for paying attention to the Giant Killer Co. content all year long, and look for us to really expand and get better next year. I did an interview with Otis just to kind of recap on his career. He had some heartfelt things to say, so check giantkiller.co later for that content. And we got a podcast coming out in which Petey interviews Paulsen directly after the game, so a lot of stuff coming to giantkiller.co. Bryan, I'm out.